Hey everyone, welcome to a Let's Configure OpenLM workshop. So what we do today, what I want to show you today is basically how to configure a core product of OpenLM. We'll configure the broker, the server, and the agent. Now this will take just about 45 minutes to an hour. So what I will do, I will first install all the different parts. We'll just install it quickly, and then we'll go over all the different checkboxes of the configurations. OpenLM has a lot of different configurations, and there's a lot to go through. But if I get a chance to also show you the installation of the app manager, which is not a part of the OpenLM core, I will do that as well. But I really don't want to overload you. We'll see how we fare. So also I would like to talk a little bit about what is new in version 4.3. I will do that in a minute. So just a quick recap. The OpenLM configuration starts with the license server. On the license server, you got license managers, and on those you got your vendors, MATLAB, Autodesk, CATIA. There we put the OpenLM Broker, which transmits data to the OpenLM core or OpenLM server. Now this sits on any network server. And finally, if you want to view the data, you just use any browser from any device that's connected to the network server. And lastly, you can also connect your workstations with the OpenLM core using the OpenLM Agent. So again, OpenLM Broker on the license server, OpenLM Agent on the workstations, OpenLM core just on any server. So we will be installing all three on the different machines. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what is new in version 4.3. First, now you get GDPR compliance from OpenLM, meaning that you can ask us to delete your personal information, and we will. Or you can anonymize your own database if, for example, you want to keep usernames and first name, last name, you want to keep everything anonymous, you can do that as well in version 4.3. The OpenLM ID, you will see it in the in today's installation. You will see the OpenLM ID, and this is an ID that you will get in the configuration tool. And when you contact the support team or the sales team, you can just send us your OpenLM ID, and it will be easier. It will be easier for us to find you. There is a reduction in database load, CPU, and memory loads regarding the OpenLM agent, meaning that you can have more agents and it will take less computing power. Also, this OpenLM server itself, there is a reduction in memory consumption. And we support two new license servers. So we got Altium License Manager, and we got NVIDIA License Manager, which is one of the newest kids in the block. And of course, many bug fixes, around 100 bug fixes. So if you want to upgrade, you'll need to contact sales@openlm.com and get a 4.3 license file. Now the license files are versioned. But okay, let's jump in. Let's see how to install OpenLM version 4.3. So I have this machine right here, and this machine will be our OpenLM server. So we have the server here, But let's start from the beginning of the flow. So what did we say that the flow is? It starts with the license server. So let's go to the license server. So here on the license server, I'll install the OpenLM Broker. This one. So how do we install it? Simple. You just double click. In this case, I already have an instance installed here, so I'm going to install a new one. But if you don't have an instance already installed there of Broker, then it will just install it. Then we click next. I agree. Next, next, next. And just let it install. Click finish, and the next thing that we need to do is open up the broker configuration tool. Now the broker will automatically find the license server I have here. I have a license manager here, port 27,000. Now it automatically found everything. It automatically found my license file. It automatically found my options file. It automatically found my debug log file. Now OpenLM needs to connect to all those files. The broker needs to connect to all those files to give you many advantages. And the last thing is that the LMUtil is pointing to the correct place. Now I'm just gonna do a quick demonstration of a system installation. I'm not going to talk about everything right now. Afterwards, I'm going to come back to this and explain why you should take the LMUtil of the license manager. I'll explain what is this data inquiry, what is the status, what does the license file mean, and what we get from it. But for now, I just want to have a demonstration of an installation, a new installation. So let's open that again. I'll show you this again. Broker. If you don't find it when you search, simply go here, click open, and where's the broker? Here we go, broker configuration tool. So all we need to do is simply create a new OpenLM server right here. So we add OpenLM server, and we need to point it in the correct place. So it will be Win10 demo. I have others that are created right here. Let's delete that. I have it already here, so I'll enable. It's Win10 demo. And right now, if I check connection, I don't have the OpenLM server installed yet. So I'll just click apply. I have this server configured here. If I click data inquiry and execute, then we'll see if it's up and running. And we see that it's not. Our license manager is not up and running. So let's open up the LM tools and let's see what's going on. Let's try to start it. Starting server. Server status. Let's see that it's all up and running and the license file is okay. So yeah, this is the license output of the license manager. And if we do a data inquiry right here, execute. So this is the same file. We just listen to that port. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Just installed and put the OpenLM server credentials. Again, I clicked here, OpenLM server, add OpenLM server right here. And afterwards, I just punched in the correct OpenLM server host name. Okay, so let's just restart the broker and go to my OpenLM server machine. And simply install OpenLM server. So I'll just double click, next, I agree. Next, next, next. Now it will take a few moments to install. Should take about a minute or two to install. It will ask you for the license file. So you can either create the license file, the evaluation license file, by punching in the different credentials that you have, like email, first name, last name, organization. And if this machine is connected to the internet, it will issue you a new license. So let's see it in action. There we go. So we have two options, light, which is very, very, very limited, or evaluation, 30-day evaluation. So we can put it here if we want, the email, phone number, just about everything. Click next and we will get the license file from the OpenLM license generator. It goes out to the internet and gets the license from the internet. But in this case, I already have a license file, so I'll choose File. Click Next. And that's it. Now we can configure now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you the quickest and fastest way to do this. So we'll open up the EasyAdmin. This one, OpenLM User Interface. Wait, I'll open it in Chrome. So we connect to localhost port 7019 to this service. So if you want to connect from another machine, then you just change the host name and it will connect. You can connect from another machine to this to the OpenLM server. So okay, we got this open. And what do we have here? These are license manager, different license managers that we installed brokers on. So we have two more that we didn't install together, but we have transmitting to the OpenLM server. So the OpenLM server recognizes that transmission and you can approve it. You can simply approve it. So if I click approve, just ask me for the name. So I'll call it Autodesk Save. Now it's still not configured. What I need to do is open up their services and restart the OpenLM server service. Once I restart it, it will compile the new license manager. Let's refresh. And there we go. It's configured. Now this will take about anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes until it starts getting all the information that it needs until the status turns green. So it takes a while. It will take a while. Meanwhile, what we'll do is install an OpenLM agent. So just to remind you, let's recap what we did right now. So we installed the OpenLM Broker on the license server. Then we installed the OpenLM Core on a dedicated server. Then we viewed the data using our device, using our browser. But we can also connect the workstations to the OpenLM Core. Now, connecting the workstations, it's not a must. It's optional. you get extra functionality if connecting the OpenLM agent. So let's go back here. Let's go to a workstation and install the OpenLM agent on the workstation. I agree. Now this finds an extension to one of these 4 applications. An extension is like an API that AutoCAD has. That API can be connected to, and then the agent can say to AutoCAD, it can say to it, hey, psst, close the application, save the work and close the application. And then AutoCAD says, oh, okay, yeah, great. I got it from my extension. It's trusted. So, okay, I'll close and I'll save. And this is a functionality of the OpenLM agent extension. So you can add the extension right here. Next, the app manager. Yeah, why not? Again, it's a next installation. Very simple. And click close. Now this will pop up. We'll need to give it the machine name of OpenLM Server, also the app manager, but we don't have it installed yet. So let's check connectivity. Connected successfully. And that's it. That's all you need to configure here. Just the OpenLM Server. Click apply. Yes. And that's it. The server is installed. The agent is installed. The server is installed. The broker is installed. Let's see that it's connecting. Let's take a look at the at here. And that's it. We see it's green right here. We have an uptime. And that's it. We have quantity. So let's try to pull an AutoCAD license. And that's it. We checked out a license. Now we have both the agent, the OpenLM agent on the workstation, looking at the process of the AutoCAD, but we also have the OpenLM Broker, which reads this license checkout from the license manager. Now, just to see that we are getting the usage, it will take about a minute, and the usage will be changed right here, and we'll see that we are getting the license. Now, that is pretty simple. It was just all next installations, and pretty much all we did is install the broker, install the OpenLM core, install the agents, and that's it. Now, the OpenLM agents, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I have 2,000 users. I'll need to install on each machine. No, you can GPO it. You can roll it out silently from a central location. So you won't have to go one by one. You just install one, and it installs on all the machines that are connected to that license manager. So, have an issue with the license manager itself. Okay, maybe someone's playing with it. So what do we want to do now? Now I want to go over all the little checkboxes and everything in the interface itself. So let's go to the broker and open up the broker machine and the broker configuration tool. Again, you just go to the broker, to the license server, go here, type in broker, and you can open it, or you can simply go to here, OpenLM, Applications, OpenLM, and just OpenLM Broker Configuration Tool. Now let's discuss all the little checkboxes and what the broker actually uses. So how can it get data to the OpenLM? How can it get the data to the OpenLM server? What does it look at? What does it find? So there are a few things that it's taken a look at. A few things that it compiles. First of all, if we go to the port itself, we just click on the port. Now, just to get our bearings, there are two places here. We have the OpenLM Servers tab, and we have the License Servers tab. So we have this license server with this host name. I'll expand it, and now we got the port right here. So let's make everything else smaller. Let's reduce everything. And if we click on the port, then we'll be able to configure our license file. So the OpenLM Broker, it takes a look at the license file, the debug log, the options file, and the license output. So what is the license file? So we set path manually, clicked add, and simply selected our vendor supplied license file. Now the vendor supplied license file looks like this. It says you got this package and you got these features inside the package. So here I have one feature with one permanent license. So this is the license file, and what do we get from it? Well, we get from it when your license expires. We get from it which packages you have. We take from it which packages and what features inside those packages. So you can set the license file to be watched here, watch license file, and it will, every 300 seconds, it will check the license file to see if anything is changed. Now, allow to sort license file means that you allow the OpenLM Broker to change your license file. If you allow to sort license file and click sort, it will change your license file so it will be in the right order. Sometimes they put the increments before the package. Sometimes they don't sort it. They don't order it in any way. So you can just order it and sort it to be just to look nice, nothing else, nothing functional really. So this can either be automatically configured, so you will see it here, or manually configured, so you set the path manually and add the correct license file. And afterwards, just click apply. And now we have the commands below the port. So we got the port and we got the commands right here. So if we click on, let's expand it. If we click on commands, then we have a path here that we can set. What is this path? This path leads to the license manager, and it leads to where the LM util resides. So what is the LM util? Why do we use it? So after we put the path, we click update, we click apply, and we go to check if it was changed. So indeed, you see it here. It goes to Autodesk, Network License Manager, LM util. Now, why am I telling you that? Why is that not automatic? You probably think, yeah, it will get that automatically. Yes, it will find that out automatically, but if it doesn't, it will put the default OpenLM LM util. The default OpenLM LM util is at a certain version. You might have a different version and you would require a different LM util. So if you see that this path goes to OpenLM Broker something, then it's not right. You need to change it to be the LM util of your license manager. So before I talked about license output. So we said that OpenLM monitors the license file in order to get the packages and expiry dates and basically everything about the license. And it uses the license output this is the license output. Now, where is it coming from? If I click status or data inquiry and click execute, then I'll be able to see the license output coming from the license manager. So this is a FlexLM license manager. And I see that I have output coming out here. I have output from it. And it's the same output as we have here. Same thing. It just reads from it. So what does it get from it? Well, let's think. What can it get from it? It gets the amount of license that you have. So I have one license. The amount currently in use for that feature. So it's currently 0 in use and I have one license. It can get the workstation, the username, the machine that it got the license from. So all the details about your session is in the data inquiry, is in the license output. Now there's also reread, remove license, stop and start. Now the reread and remove license, they need also to have the correct LM util. But if it's not a FlexLM license manager, if it's DSLS, if it's something else, then it will need a different file, not lmutil, because lmutil is a FlexLM file. It might be dslickserv, it might be lmgrd, it might be something else. Now, if we go to vendors right here, we'll be able to add a vendor if we click here. And the vendor that we add, that means our options file. So we add a new vendor. We have an options file. This is the one. And we set it to watch the options file in case any changes arise. So what is an options file? Options file basically is a FlexLM tool. It's a FlexLM file that allows you to reserve licenses to different users. It allows you to set different groups. So if you know and you have options file, then you can compile it into the OpenLM interface. And of course, you can watch it and set a backup path to it. Now, what do we get from the options file? First of all, the options file helps us know the different reserved licenses. It helps us incorporate all those details into OpenLM, but also it incorporates all the new users that you set in your options file or the new groups that you set in the options file. So we also get groups from there. Now the next one is debug log. The debug log itself has all the different sessions, all the checkout, license checkouts, license check-ins, all the denials. So it holds everything there. So we are also monitoring the debug log. We get the denials from the debug log, and we also validate the data that we get from the license output. So if we get usage here, but it does not show in the debug log, so there's a problem there. And OpenLM starts investigating what went wrong. Okay, so now let's move to the OpenLM server, because pretty much that's about it. Oh, I didn't mention that once you set the path to the debug log, you can watch files by pattern. So if you have a debug log that's called debug log 1, and then you put a debug log and it's called debug log 2 or debug log 3, or maybe it's a date and it looks like this, and the date changes each day. So you can watch files by the pattern. So if they have a certain pattern, it will recognize that. So that's it. Let's move to the OpenLM server. Here, you see it's back on, it's back live, and I have the used right here. We see ourselves. Let's click it. We see our username with our vendor. This is the feature that we're using. And and everything about the session. Now, I'm not going to go over the report itself, but something else that you might notice is the app idle time that I have here. So the application is idling right now. If you watch the OpenLM webinar on the Empower Your End User, then we talk about the idle time and how you can release licenses and close applications as a result. But now that we see that it's working, everything's okay, because I said it takes like 1 to 5 minutes to get everything set up, and then it's continuous. So let's take a look at the server itself, at the OpenLM server configurations, and see what we have. Because the broker, we saw the configurations in the broker. Let's take a look at the configurations of the OpenLM server. So this was created automatically because I just click approve right here and it was created automatically. Now, what if I don't approve? What if I click add and I want to add another license manager? So I have 600 Win8 OLM Prod 3. So let's try to create it automatically. Win8 OLM Prod 3, port 600. It's a FlexLM license file. Let's call it Win8 Autodesk. Okay. Now, what do we have here in the configurations? First of all, the name, of course, if you enable it, the type of the license manager, the time zone. Now, this is the time zone that's on the license manager, on the broker, time zone of the broker. Sample rate is how many times it samples the data, so it will update every minute, every 60 seconds. If it's a triad, then you click here, it opens up an option to add more host names. Here you set the port, the host name, and we can test if we can get information. So right now I see that we're not getting information. Yeah, we are. Just took a moment. So we're getting information. It's all connected. So now there are these confusing checkboxes. Let's go over them. This checkbox, OpenLM Server remotely queries license manager. That means that you are not using a broker. You want to directly connect to it. Now, if you use this option, you lose out on a lot of benefits. If you use the broker, then first of all, you get the denials. So if you use this option, you won't get denials. Secondly, the broker itself buffers the data, meaning that if there is no connection to the OpenLM server, so the broker saves all the data in special buffers, and once connection is established with OpenLM server, it sends out all the data to OpenLM server. And also you won't get connection to the options file, you won't get your packages, and you won't get anything except what can be taken from here. And you won't get data validation if you use this. But if you are using a broker, then remove this. And this is how it should look like if you are using a broker. Now, if you are using a broker, but you are reading a license file on the broker, what does that mean, reading a license file? Let's go back to the broker and open up the broker configuration tool. So the license file, if we go to the port, advanced, this is the license file. This right here, the vendor supplied license file. So this is what we tell it to read. We tell it to either read the license file or not read the license file. So in this case, let's tell it to read the license file. And that's it. It's all configured. So we can click apply, restart now. And we have a new license manager that we just configured. Now let's see what are the other options. Now, first of all, you got the LM tools right here. And these ones, you can set the LM util that helps you connect. So when I click test here, it uses this LM util, the default OpenLM LM util. And again, this is very bad because you might have different versions, so it will parse the data wrong. So you need to get the LM util that's on the license manager itself, that's on the license server itself. So you need to copy it here and connect to it. Now this is again for MathLM, Loom, RMS, and we have a lot of users that, I don't know, they put it on DSLS, and then they do test, and it gives them nothing. Now, what is that? This is because the LM tools right here, the DSLS is not set. So you need to set that if you don't want to use a broker. You don't need to set that if you do want to use a broker, because the broker already has that. In port settings, of course, you got the different ports. For example, this is the broker port, the agent port, API port, router port, and you can choose to use SSL or change them if you want. Now, under notifications, you can send an email notification to yourself using your own SMTP server details and get notified when a new software, OpenLM software, is updated. Next, we got the Advanced tab, which here we got a few things that might interest you. First of all, you can require login credentials. That means that you'll need to set a password and admin name for your super user, for your admin user. The support spaces in usernames, that's important. Sometimes you have usernames that have spaces in them. So you'll need to click this in order for the OpenLM system to know that it's a username and not username and workstation. Now you can store user information anonymously if you want. This is also a part of the GDPR compliance. And right here you can update the product features and product packages. Now in OpenLM, the features have product names. Where do you get the product names? It's lists that we update. So let's say that you bought OpenLM, last updated OpenLM in 2017, and it's closing up on 2019. And there were new products. You're using now Autodesk 2018 or something. So you won't have the product name there. You'll need to update it here in order for you to get the new product name, the new package names, and so on. And lastly, we got the LDAP, which the LDAP itself is an extension and is reserved for the extensions webinar. But I'm just gonna quickly go over it. So you can create a new LDAP, create a new synchronization, and then you can pull your users. You just put the node here, change this to the correct attribute. You can sync only the active users, you set the default group, and then you can decide if you want to get everybody and put them all under group, I don't know, Germany, or stick with the hierarchy of the Active Directory, or group them by their user attribute. So for example, department. So everybody with the sales under their department attribute, or support under their department attribute. So all of them will be grouped into the same groups, to group support and group sales and so on. And that's about it for all the different configurations, all the different checkboxes, pretty much everything the core product can give you relating to configuration. Now, we've already talked about the configuration. We installed a full core system. Now it has taken about 40 minutes to set up a core system, full core system, but it takes like 15 minutes if there's no one talking and no one explaining anything. So this is pretty much it. I'm not gonna overload you with information, but feel free to ask any question that you like. I'm gonna dedicate a few minutes now for your questions. If you have a question regarding the installation, regarding configuration, so just let me know. Just you can write it down in the GoToMeeting question box. Go to webinar question box, or you can just use your microphone to ask. So that's it. For the rest of you, thank you all. I hope it was informative, that you saw exactly how easy it is to configure OpenLM, and you understood maybe something that you didn't already know. Maybe you learned something new. Anyway, thank you very much. You can ask questions. I'll be happy to answer now. A link indeed will be sent to the attendees, indeed. But if you're probably asking this because you followed it, but you don't know if you can reproduce it yourself, because of course you just saw me do it. You can go to the OpenLM website, and let me show you a little trick that might help you get all the videos and all the recordings that you want. I will send the recording, but you can get all the different recordings that you want. So you just go to the OpenLM website, you type in just bundle, and then you can get the user bundle. It's like a bundle of documentation and tutorials, just OpenLM tutorial bundle. And this holds all the basic configurations that you need, like a bit about OpenLM, all the supported license managers, and then how to configure OpenLM Server, how to install it, how to configure it, how to install the broker, how to configure it, how to interface with all the different license managers, and then we have all the recordings right here. So you got how-to tutorials. Now, how-to is configurations tutorials. You can, you see here, I'll open that up and let's take a look. And you'll see all the different parts of OpenLM that you can configure. It even has some of what we see now, like server broker installation, monitoring by projects, SaaS registration, Active Directory synchronization, Active Agent extension, Active Agent for SolidWorks. So we got a lot of different how-tos right here. But if you want something like more overview of things, so you can go to here, the video tutorials. And here you got like flash tutorials of the different reports of OpenLM, the activity reports, denials report, license servers report, how to configure OpenLM, all the extensions, roles and permissions, reporting hub, alert management, but it doesn't tell you how to configure it. It just shows you what it is. And lastly, we have the recorded webinars that if you want, you can just watch all the different recorded webinars. Every half a year, something like, every like 6 months, we change our webinars. We change it to be in different subjects, to be compiled differently. Maybe we have new things that we want to show. But anyway, everything will be here in the webinar section, webinar recording section. Okay, so Corey, if you require any assistance, please call support. You can either just go online and you see here there's have a question, just click on that and you'll immediately get to our chat. So I don't know, let's fill it in. And I want technical support. start chat. Oh, start chat. And now if there's someone available, he will answer, and we just start conversating. Just come to the chat, and we quickly here we go. Nadav answered me. Hey Nadav. I'm a live meeting. And that's it. You can just call us up on chat. But maybe you don't want to do that. You can just call us up. Just contact us right here. And we have many numbers. You can call the one that is closest to you. Or you can just send an email to support@openlm.com. Now, we are very happy to help you get your system up and running. We will answer quickly. We have 24 hours and 6 days a week of support. So just contact us. We'll be happy to help. Oh, you're most welcome, Martin. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe learned something that you didn't know. The main reason we have the workshops, most people, yeah, they can install OpenLM, they know what goes where, but there's always something that they don't know. Some checkbox, some configurations that users come out with it, come out of the webinar saying like, oh, I didn't know that. So I hope you reached that moment. I hope you had that moment as well. Okay, guys. So have a great day. Thank you for joining the webinar. Bye bye. Yes, indeed. Yeah, understood. It's no. Um, yeah, indeed. All you need to do in order to upgrade is just to get a new license file, put it in the OpenLM Server folder there, and just run the installation. That's it. Nothing to do beyond that. It's real simple, real easy. But make sure that first you back up your OpenLM database before upgrading. And after the upgrade of the OpenLM server, make sure you upgrade your OpenLM brokers as well. There is back compatibility, but you might have issues. Like as the versions are more separate apart, let's say you have broker version 3.3 and you have server for version 4.3, so that's really bad. You won't have any consistency between the two and you'll get wrong data. So it's always better to stay at the same major version. So broker 4.3 and server 4.3. Thank you as well. Bye bye. Have a great day.